Hey everyone, and welcome to VGA Podcast episode 54. It's Caleb and Alex back with you again, and we have a lot to talk about today. Alex, you excited?
I am excited. It's this week. I feel even more excited because there's a lot of stuff, and I'm interested to see what you think of these shows because I think maybe we'll have different opinions on some.
Yeah, I'm curious. I kind of feel like we might on certain things, so that'll be interesting to talk about. So our episode for today, we are going to be talking about Severance Season 2, Episodes 7 and 8. And then we have Invincible Season 3, and we have Episodes 4 through 7 to talk about with that. And then Daredevil Born Again started, so we have the first 2 episodes of that to talk about. And then lastly, we have played about 6 hours of Splitfiction. So we're going to be talking about our thoughts on that and kind of going over, how we feel, what we did in the game and giving our thoughts on that game. So we got a lot to talk about today.
Wait, let's do it.
All right. Well, let's get into it. Let's talk about Severance Season 2, Episodes 7 and 8. So we'll give our thoughts with no spoilers. Just like a high-level overview and our scores, and then we'll give a spoiler warning before we get into talking about spoilers. So, Alex, you want to go ahead and start with episodes 7 and 8? What your thoughts were on them?
Sure, yeah. So I'll do an individual score for both. So the episode 7, I absolutely loved this episode. I thought this episode was filmed beautifully. God, the transitions in this episode, I was like mind blown. Like I thought the camera work, transitions, music, I loved everything about this. To me, this is up there with that forest episode.
Yep.
So I think I'm going to give this one a 10 out of 10. I think I liked it more in the forest episode just because I feel like it furthered the story more, and it also gave some insight on a key relationship that I feel like we needed.
Yeah.
And it was just filmed beautifully.
It was
filmed so good. And the acting was good, and also just the concept of the episode. I'll get to it in spoilers. I don't want to spoil anything. It was just it's such an interesting episode. So this was a 10 out of 10 for me. And then episode 8, unfortunately, complete opposite. I think this was the worst episode of the season. I give it a 5 out of 10. I thought it was boring. I'm going to be honest, and I don't mind slow episodes, but I thought it was boring. I thought, yes, the revelation at the end of the episode was good, but it could have been done way quicker, way better. And I don't know if this was a me and Kara issue, but it was hard to hear the voice, the talking in this episode.
Huh. I didn't have that issue.
And I read something online that other people are having that issue, like they were talking so quiet. And I don't know if maybe I had the volume lower, but Karen and I both could hardly understand them half the time. I had to turn. So I usually watch it with subtitles. So
yeah.
But I did not. I feel like I'm being harsh, and I probably am being a little too harsh. But I did not like this episode. After the episode, I looked at Karen. I'm like, this is boring. 5 out of 10. I didn't find it interesting at all. The revelation at the end was interesting, but again, I felt like I didn't need a whole episode on it. And so 5 out of 10, I think it's the worst episode of the season. That being said, 5 out of 10 is still an average on our scale.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's anything better than an average personally. But yeah, that's my thoughts. I'll talk more about spoilers, but what were your thoughts? Interesting.
Yeah. I definitely, we'll start with episode 7. I 100% agree with episode 7. It was an amazing episode. Just the way it was shot from a visual standpoint was insane how good it looked. Mm-hmm. And like the visual storytelling it did was top notch. It had great acting. The whole vibe of this episode it kind of made everything else feel more sinister or like darker somehow, even though like the whole show feels kind of sinister and dark. Yeah. They somehow upped the ante on that. It was a crazy episode. I loved it. I agree with you. I also gave it a 10. It was my favorite episode of the season, like right up there with the forest episode for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Episode 8, I agree with you that it was a slower episode. I can see how you'd think it's boring. It wasn't the most action packed or like we didn't learn stuff every step of the way. Like there was definitely some downtime.
The nice thing about
I still enjoyed it. I think it was still, it still had very high production quality. It was also a shorter episode. When I saw the runtime on this, I was like, oh, it's only like 39 minutes or something. That was
after like the recap and the opening.
Yeah.
Or there was no opening, but yeah, it's like 38 minutes.
Yeah, I definitely...
It still felt long for me. I'm sorry, continue.
It wasn't my favorite episode. I will agree with you. I think I gave it a 7. I think it changes some things, how I view some things. Like if I were to go back and rewatch it, I feel like it would shift some things in the way I would rewatch it. I think we did get some cool reveals, but it did take a while to get there. And there's a couple other things that I have questions about. They may be answered, but how I'm thinking about it now, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So yeah, I gave it a 7. I thought it was like high production quality. Wasn't my favorite episode. Definitely slower, but there were still some good scenes and I liked it. So yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. I could see that. It did feel, it still had the great camera work and the visuals and landscape shots.
Good acting too. I feel like the acting was pretty good.
Yeah. So, I mean, I get it, but I mean, we could talk about it in spoilers. So you both 10 out of 10 for episode 7.
Yep.
And then episode 8, I did a 5 and you did a 7.
7.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
Yeah, I want to talk about spoilers.
Yeah, let's get into spoilers. So, spoiler alert for Severance Season 2, Episodes 7 and 8.
Okay. I want to talk about episode 8 first, because I feel like we're going to talk more about episode 7.
Yeah, sure.
My issue is, so episode 8, I get what you're saying, but for me, it took too long to get there. It's a character I don't necessarily care about, and the landscape was interesting, but there's just so many scenes that felt dragged on. Everything about it was so, and I'm fine with slow, but it wasn't an interesting slow for me. It just wasn't. And
I could see
I don't know.
that. I think what brought it up for me was the world building of like what Lumen does. Because
I agree with that.
And like, I kind of felt like it was almost, so they go to like the ether factory, right? And they talk about the ether factory and how there's kids working there. And at one point, the guy even says like, oh, do you want to get high like before we stirred the vat for 8 hours or something? It almost felt like Lumen set this up so that as almost like a severance, like the kids were getting high and becoming like a different person and doing the vats and then coming out and sobering up. And like, it felt like an initial step of Severance, or like their first attempt at it. And then like seeing how the town was just so ran down and old, and people are getting high on ether and like passing out, and just how dilapidated it was. I thought that was interesting to see how they have been destroying people's lives for a long time.
I like the concept of that too. Like the idea of it is interesting. I guess for me, maybe it was the point. Maybe it was just coming off that amazing episode before. Like this episode just felt, I don't know, man. And maybe it was just, it's too late in the season. Like there were only 2 episodes left. It just felt we hadn't seen her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's just because it's out of place. Like if this would have been like, right after the episode where Mark sees her drive off, maybe I'd be like, okay, then we kind of see where she's going. Yeah. Maybe that's the reason, it's the placement. But for me, the scenes just felt dragged. And every time there was talking for me and Kara, at least, it was very hard to understand them. Luckily, I watch with subtitles.
Yeah,
Usually
and I'm assuming since you watched it with Kara, you didn't watch it with headphones, right? You watched it on your TV, I'm assuming?
No, I did not watch it with headphones.
Because I didn't have that issue with headphones, so I wonder if it was just like bad mix for TV or something. Yeah, that
I don't
sucks.
know. Like I've never had an issue with that with the show, but both Kara and I both said like it was hard to hear. I think it was the way they were like they would kind of like whisper almost.
Yeah. Now that you say that, I could see that, but yeah, with headphones, it wasn't an issue. Interesting.
And then like they have the loud wind, because it's like by the ocean. So it was, I don't know. I felt like the sound was off, and I don't know, just the scene where she gets to that house with who was that? Her aunt or something?
Sissy, yeah.
Sissy.
I don't know if it's her aunt or what, but yeah.
It was just it dragged on for me. Then she laid on her bed, and like that stuff just wasn't interesting for me. Like it just wasn't like. It was weird, but like for me, not a good weird. It's just not interesting.
Yeah,
personally,
it's definitely not as interesting as like the innies and the outies and trying to figure out that. I could see that. Yeah.
I just and the guy that they introduced. I mean, I don't really care about him. We're probably never going to see him again.
Yeah.
And he wasn't necessarily that interesting. He felt like he was just kind of there to kind of like as a point of view of the town.
Yeah. Also, did he just sit out there for like hours while she took a nap?
Yeah, I was wondering that too.
Weird.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. It just I agree with you. I like the concept of knowing that Lumen pretty much used this town, ran it dry, kind of experimented in a way.
Yeah.
I like that idea. And I kind of like how the reveal of kind of her drawing up the Severance stuff.
Yeah.
And
so yeah, she's the one who basically created Severance. That's interesting.
Which is a big reveal, right?
Yeah.
I liked where this episode went. It just, for me, it didn't need to be a 40-minute episode. But,
yeah, it was a lot of like, she gets there, she's like, where is it? And you're like, okay, what is it that she's looking for? And then it takes like 20 or 30 minutes to get to what she's looking for.
Like her even just finding the key and then her sitting on everything about this episode was dramatically slow.
Yeah.
Like her sitting on the bed and kind of falling asleep. Her waking up and looking out the window. Like that really needed like 3 minutes of her like sitting on opening the door and sitting on the bed. I don't know. It just wasn't interesting to me.
Yeah.
That part of it wasn't. And I still give it a 5, so it's still like average. It's not like I thought it was bad.
Yeah.
But I did like the reveal. Like I thought that was interesting, and it kind of shows that Mark's sister, what's her name, Devin, had the right idea calling her.
Yeah,
because if anyone's gonna know how to fix it, I mean, it's risky because you don't know which side she's on.
Yeah, I kind of hope in the next episode we see like Devin and Mark talking about calling her because they called her a couple times and then she finally picked up and. I'm surprised Mark even agreed to talk to her and
agreed to that.
Yeah, because I kind of think Ragabi has it maybe right that because I definitely think Cobell harbors some hate against Lumen, but I don't know if she's trustworthy enough to
I agree.
to trust with the reintegrating thing. So
I agree because she could use that to leverage Lumen or something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, I got something. I got a secret you want to know about, or I can deliver you Mark or something. If let me run the Severance floor.
Yep.
Yeah, she could definitely. I don't trust her either.
Yeah.
But I mean, she did like pretty much create Severance. So like, if Mark is gonna have someone help, I mean, I guess last resort kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And
which maybe that's what they're thinking. Her
basically creating Severance makes, I think Helena said something in that episode where they talked in the parking lot, or maybe it was before that, where she said, I think you're overestimating your contributions or something. And now after this, it's like, well, she contributed Severance, which is the whole thing.
Yep.
Like, that's so crazy. What a crazy line.
Yeah, seriously. Freaking. Yeah. So I see, I can see why you gave it a 7 or whatever.
Yeah.
But for me, this was the weakest episode of the whole show, not just the season.
Yeah, I think I kind of agree. Yeah, it wasn't my favorite, but I still don't think it was bad.
No, definitely not bad. I think I just came off such a high of the episode before.
It really was, which we should talk about.
Like, yeah, we could talk about episode 7 because, God, it was a beautiful episode.
Yes, it was. That one shot where it goes down through like the servers or whatever with the wires, I heard that was not CG. I heard they made a rig for that. Yeah. I'll try and find the article and put it up on screen. But yeah, if they did that like, practical, that was crazy looking.
Interesting. That's crazy. Yeah. So I think what made me like this more than the 4 episodes, I like them both. I mean, like I said, I could have switched the 4th episode to a 10 for different reasons, but this one, I loved how it answered. Well, it kind of answered questions, but it kind of didn't, but it had such a sci-fi vibe to it, man.
It did.
And so the way it kind of, it gave us like three things. It kind of answered questions to where Mark's wife was.
Yep.
And then it kind of answered the question of like, what's down that dark hallway, that he's been painting. And then also it deepens the relationship for Mark and his wife that we haven't seen that much of.
Yeah, we really haven't.
And so I feel like it made me kind of connect and believe in their relationship more through seeing the flashbacks.
Yep.
And also seeing her pretty much like a prisoner in this freaking mad scientist floor.
I know. The fact that she has a different innie for every room and they're basically torturing all of them just to see if I think
that's so
it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, when I found out like I'm like, wait, so she's getting severed like for all these different like rooms.
Yeah.
Like so she's getting severed whatever it was, 20, I don't know how many rooms it was, but
it was a lot.
Yeah, and like she's pretty much being held prisoner down there with that weird scientist dude that's like in love with her.
Yep.
So I really liked how it kind of set a dark tone and kind of a bigger mystery, but it gave us answers, gave us more mysteries, and strengthened a relationship I feel like we should care about more. And I think all while being filmed freaking beautifully with the transitions between like the present and that.
Yep.
Oh, every time it transitioned, I'm like, my God, that was amazing.
Yeah, and even like her, because at one point she almost escapes, and I thought that escape sequence was beautiful, like with the lights following the people and her like ducking into the side room when she saw lights coming down, and that looked really sci-fi and really cool. And when she got
it was like creepy and dark.
It was. And then when she got to the elevator and it changed her into Miss Casey, it was so heartbreaking. Like, she's not gonna make it out.
She was there. And
the Milchek shows up.
What's his face? The Milchek.
Yeah.
I still don't know where Milchek stands.
Yeah. I don't know. I think this one, it kind of shows that he still is more with Lumen than with
he's gonna obey Lumen, but yeah. Because God, you're right. That was so like, how do you escape that? You can't escape that.
Yeah. Nope.
No matter what she knows down on that floor, like every time she goes up that elevator, she's going to go back to Miss Casey.
Yep.
So it's almost impossible to escape, which is,
they did a good job.
Like, that's scary.
Trapping her. Yeah, that is scary.
Like, and then those scenes where she would go into the rooms, like the dentist room and the Christmas wrapping room, whatever.
Yeah.
With the creepy guy, like, tell me I love you or whatever. I was like,
so I saw a post on Reddit where someone was mentioning that her different outfits she wore, because if you notice, they were all from like different, like one looked like an 80s outfit or a 70s outfit, that they were outfits worn by different Egan women, which would make sense for the different time periods. I just don't know the purpose of that, but I saw like pictures of the Egan women and their outfits matched up pretty closely. So I don't know.
Interesting.
Like the different severances are different Egan, like if they're trying to bring back an Egan woman, or I don't know, but that's pretty interesting and weird.
That is weird. Or maybe they're just like, maybe Egan's just like, just trying to recreate. I don't know. Like, that is
I don't know.
And I do like there's that scene where it showed like the underground, the computers under the workspace where the guy's like, you're gonna have to let her go, right? Like the dude just legit likes her, loves her.
Yeah, that's weird. I was hoping that chair hit took him out, but I don't think it did.
No. And this kind of answer. So what is? And I remember her saying, "What's the project Mark's working on? What's the name of it?
Cold Harbor."
Yeah. So she's like, that's the one room I haven't been in.
Yeah.
And then obviously they show like the computers under there, and they're like, Mark's almost completed, but he's not at his desk. Or what is so important about this Cold Harbor?
I don't know. And yeah, that's the question. I kind of wonder if Cold Harbor references the place in episode 8, because it was like a frozen like harbor town, but I don't know. That could just be a misdirect. And like, I've heard people saying Cold Harbor could be the fact that she had a miscarriage, like how it's like an inhospitable womb kind of thing, and maybe she'll have to relive her miscarriage. I don't know. I've seen a lot of theories, but I don't know if any of them hit it exactly.
Yeah. And it still doesn't answer the question of like how like they're working by feeling of numbers and putting it in a bucket, and then it goes down into that other computer. It's so weird.
Yeah. Did you notice? So there were 4 people watching the 4 like MDR people, right? And did you notice that they all looked like the people they were watching?
I did 100% notice that.
What is that? And are those like the quote unquote clones from the Forest episode? Maybe like maybe they used.
I don't know, but
it's.
I definitely noticed that.
That was weird.
Yeah. I loved this episode. Like,
yeah, it was
the
so
fact
good.
that it kind of furthered the story and was beautifully shot with music and transitions and cemented like a relationship we should care. Like now, not only do I want Mark to find his wife, I feel bad for his wife.
Yeah, I feel really bad for Gemma. She is trapped by this evil company doing horrible things.
Yeah. So now it's not just like, oh, Mark needs to find his wife. It's like, I want to get Gemma out.
Yeah.
It's like this was the perfect episode in the sense of it hit all marks for me. Everything.
And there were, I think, 3 things that made me reevaluate how much reach Lumen has. Like, I think Lumen was looking at Gemma for a lot longer than like when the car crash happened. So when they first met, there was a Lumen logo at the blood drive. Like there was that water drop or blood, whatever. Like, so the blood drive was Lumen, had some connection with Lumen.
Yep.
The fertility clinic, when it was done, it immediately transitioned into that Lumen underground facility, and it looked like exactly the same layout. So maybe the fertility clinic was a Lumen thing, and they were doing testing to see if she was like perfect for Cold Harbor or something. And then the last one, hold on, what was the last one? Oh, they sent her that the thing she was filling out that Mark was like, why are you doing that? I mean, I think it was the name of the episode, the Chikai Bardo or whatever. So yeah, they've definitely been looking at her and then probably set up the car crash. Obviously, we kind of knew that already, but yeah, that's crazy how much reach they have.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah.
And it was what I liked about the episode too is like when it showed the flashbacks, it was so interesting how bright it was and happy it was, because we're so not used to that.
It was very bright.
But I don't know if you noticed, but throughout the episode, it kind of got a little more grayish and darker.
Yeah, man.
Like
the
after her miscarriage and
was so good.
Yeah, so freaking good. Like, and maybe like if you're not like, if you don't review or study it like we do, people might not notice that. Man, if you do pay attention to that stuff,
I still think even if you don't like notice it does a really good job of just like subtly influencing your emotions and how you're feeling about it. So it definitely still does its job, and it did its job.
This freaking show. I just watched a YouTube video. I should shout him out. It was a video. He was analyzing the main title, like the theme song and
I saw that one.
The sequence. Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the music and how he's like it's better than you think, because the way like music theory, with the keys and stuff, it lines up with the innies and outies, and
that's really cool.
Yeah, just like little things like that. Like you could tell this show is so good.
You can send me that one, and I'll see if it's the same one, and we can link it in the description. Because
it was a really interesting video.
Yeah,
I'll send it to you, and then you could link it in the video. And but I'll have to find it because I think I watched it.
Yeah, I think it's the same one I watched.
Yeah, it was just like it was recommended on my algorithm.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this looks interesting, and I ended up watching the whole thing.
Yeah, it's really cool how even just like the theme song is built so meticulously to match the show of like the innies and the outies and the feelings you get of those. Yes. Yeah, it's so cool.
Oh yeah, I found it. It's YouTuber Charles Cornell. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I think that's the one I watched.
It was a really interesting, especially if you like music.
Yeah.
really interesting video. But I watched it, I'm like, man, they're even putting so much thought just into the opening theme sequence and song.
Yep.
But anyways, yeah, this show, it's been great. We have what, 2 more episodes?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
2 more episodes. Oh, it's a lot for me to get. Like, I get excited with shows, but like, I can't wait for Friday nights to watch the show.
I know.
Like,
same.
It's like, it's one of those shows where like, I'm gonna be sad when it's over. Like, it's gonna end on some sort of cliffhanger again.
Yep, for sure.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
Yeah, same.
It was awesome. Watch the dang show.
This is my favorite show on TV right now. Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, oh, for sure. It's not even a question. I got Brandon to start watching it.
Oh, nice.
And he analyzes stuff like us, so he's thinking the same thing we are. He's only on season 1.
Okay.
Just wait, dude. I can't talk to you until you watch it. I don't want to spoil
seriously.
anything. Like, you think it's weird now, just keep watching.
Yep.
Cool.
All right. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about Invincible Season 3. So we've got 4 episodes to talk about today. Episode 4, 5, 6, and 7. I know.
We'll probably talk more with the last 2 episodes than the first 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm. I do have individual scores, so we'll give our scores. We'll give our thoughts without spoilers, and then give a spoiler warning before we go into it. But yeah, I'll go ahead and give my scores first on this one. So, episode 4, it was a really good episode. I feel like they covered so much in just this one episode. And it had really good animation, really good pacing. This is one of those where they split it up kind of half and half, and the second half was my favorite part, but both halves were really good. I gave this one an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. Thought it was really good. Episode 5, I thought was probably the weakest of the season. I didn't get much out of the villain. It wasn't necessarily a bad episode and had some interesting ideas, but it just didn't really resonate with me as much as some of the other episodes. So I gave that one a 6.
Okay.
Episode 6, I thought was a pretty decent episode. It was emotional, funny. The villain was pretty tragic and the action was good, but there were just a couple of things that held this back. Particularly around the villain. We'll talk a little bit more about it in spoilers. It just felt a little bit weird to me, but overall, I still think the episode was decent. I gave that one a 7.
Okay.
And then episode 7. Man, what an amazing episode 7 was. I loved it. There were so many awesome scenes. The tone was perfect for what was going on in the show. I think this was probably the best animation in the show that I can remember. It was such a crazy roller coaster ride. Steven Yeun was amazing in this episode. Yeah. His voice acting was incredible.
Yes.
Yeah, this is definitely my favorite episode of the season so far. I'm really split between a 9 or a 10, and there's one reason that I'm like hesitant to give it a 10. We'll talk about it in spoilers, and I may change my mind. I'm going to stick with a 9 for now and possibly update it to a 10. We'll see. But yeah, I'll give it a 9. I thought it was, a great episode.
Okay. I think we're similar. I gave episode 4, I would give episode 4 an 8. I really liked episode 4. I liked both halves, but I agree the second half was great, and the action was great. It's just interesting. I really like that episode. Yeah. So I gave that an 8.
Okay.
I agree with episode 5. I would give episode 5... I give episode 5 maybe a 6 or a 7. I'll give it a 6, because I do think it was the weakest of the season. Still fun. Still fun watch.
Sure. Yeah.
But it's kind of sandwiched in between great episodes. So I'd give this one a 6. Episode 6... I actually think I liked more than you. I gave this one a 9.
Oh wow!
I thought this was a great episode, and I loved the concept of the episode. I do think there's a couple issues, which is why I wouldn't give it higher. I mean, I could even say an 8, but I gave it a 9 just because I just find the idea of this really interesting, and I love when superhero shows explore this side of it.
Okay. Yeah.
So I give that a 9. Emotional episode, interesting and good. Yeah. And then episode 7, I agree with you. I think this episode is awesome. I, believe it or not, I actually don't think I loved it as much as you did.
Okay.
But I would still give it a 9.
Okay. Yeah.
But I just have worries, and this could change after the next episode.
Sure.
But I have worries, as with anything with, I'm not going to say anything with spoilers, but I give it a 9. I think it did have the best animation. Steven, his voicing in this was great. Action, great. I just have some worries.
Okay.
So I'm going to give it a 9 with the possibility of me changing it to 10, depending how the finale is.
Sure. Yep.
But yeah, those, so pretty similar. I
Yeah.
think I like some of the other episodes a little more than you.
Yeah. And we'll talk about it. Like episode 6, I think, is our biggest difference. So we'll probably talk a little bit about that. And I definitely want to talk more about episode 7. So
yeah, for sure. For sure. But overall, it's still been a great season.
Yeah, I agree.
It really has.
I've been really enjoying
Consistent.
Yes. All right, well, let's get into spoilers for Invincible Season 3, Episodes 4 through 7. Okay. Let's talk about, should we start with 4 and go through them? Or
yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, so Episode 4, I actually really like when they do those split episodes where like the first half is with Mark and then the second half is somewhere else. They had 1 or 2 of them in season 2. Maybe just 1, but I end up liking those a lot. And the first half I thought was really good with the immortal stuff. And were you able to guess that it was immortal? Because I was able. I figured out that it was immortal. Yeah, it was pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Like who else could it be, really? But I thought that fight between Mark and Future Immortal was really good. Pretty good animation. After seeing episode 7, like nothing beats that, but it's still, the animation was good. And I feel like it kind of deepens what Mark is dealing with, like having to kill him and him fighting with himself on all that. But man, that second half with Alan
that second half was
and
good.
Nolan. I love Alan, and his relationship with Nolan is so interesting.
I don't know, who would have thought that would have been a relationship? Like,
I know.
Probably one of my favorite relationships.
Yeah. And then seeing
I thought that
Battle
Beast
was cool too.
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
One line of crack. Can Battle Beast breathe without in space? Like,
yeah, it seems like it.
But I thought the action was good in that.
Yep.
And just the relationship. And Alan's just hilarious.
Yeah, him letting himself get just destroyed so that Nolan had a reason to fight was great. And then those two teaming up against the Viltrumite was so cool. That ending.
Yeah, that was fun to watch. Yeah.
Oh, that double punch. Oof. I was not expecting it, but it was really cool.
Yeah, that right there. And we kind of get the reveal that there's only, 50 or so Viltrumites left.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yep. Like you kind of get a little more lore. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this is interesting. So yeah, I really enjoyed that second half too, more than the first half.
Yeah, it was really good.
So good. Such an interesting episode. And you're right, it almost feels like 2 episodes in one.
Yeah, it does.
Because it was still what, 20 minute, 25 minute sections.
Each, yeah.
Yeah, each. So yeah, that was good. So yeah, that was a good episode. Kind of further their relationship, and also, like you said with Mark, I feel like this season's him kind of. I feel like this season is a lot about Mark learning how to deal with tragedies and also knowing when to. What's the word I'm looking for? Knowing when to be self-righteous and not be self-righteous kind of thing.
Yeah, that he does struggle with that. Yeah.
I feel like this season more so than other seasons, he he, like we talked about, he kind of always, he's young, right? He always thinks he's right, but he's kind of figuring out. And his brother's there to kind of, I feel like his brother anchors him a little bit whenever he's around.
Yeah, I agree. Because he's like striving to be a good role model and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously his brother, he's scared his brother will turn out like his dad because he's always just like, kill him, oh, screw you guys.
Yeah.
Mark's like, dude. Yeah, so I find that interesting, which we'll get on more in episode 7, obviously.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anything else you had on episode 4?
No, I think we can move to episode 5.
Okay. Yeah, episode 5. To be honest, episode 5, I feel like there's not much to talk about.
Yeah, I think a couple of things that I liked was the idea of Mark like teaming up with Eve to create that company was interesting. I thought that was a good idea, and seeing them fight together was cool.
That was cool, having them, like when she shielded herself and he used her as like a mace thing.
Yeah.
Like whip thing was cool.
That was cool.
They're fighting together is cool.
Yep. And then the multi-pole escape was freaking brutal. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was brutal. I was watching this, I'm like, oh my god.
That was his first idea to get out. That was crazy.
I was like, God, only this show would think of something like that.
Yeah. But I think the weaker part was obviously the villain, and then they like Titan outmaneuvering the villain was good, but Machine Head kills him, and then the guy just comes back, and we just see it like 5 minutes later. It just kind of made the stakes feel lower in this episode, and it just
I agree.
He was just like a giant dragon, which I guess is cool, but it didn't really do that much for me.
Yeah, this whole like underground crime thing, it's kind of interesting, but out of like all the storylines, it's kind of like the lizard dude. It's like it's kind of like the least interesting, like side story in my opinion, for this season at least.
I agree.
But yeah, there's really not much. I mean, I guess Mark technically would have lost if it looked like he was going to lose if what's his face didn't shoot the
Machine Head. Yep.
Yeah, so, but yeah, I mean, it's still entertaining. It wasn't a bad episode, I didn't think.
Yeah. It just wasn't one of the worst episodes big
in
episodes. 2. But yeah.
No. And I think like I said, I think a sandwich between, like, honestly, this whole season's been pretty good. So
yeah, I agree.
It was just the weakest one of the whole season, but that's not, like, the weakest one is still good.
Yeah, out of a good season, that's not bad.
Like, I would still put it above, season 2.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, like the middling episodes of season 2, I'd put this middling episode better.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so episode 6 seems to kind of where we differ the most. I want to hear what your kind of little minor problems are with it.
Yeah, I just think Powerplex as a villain is kind of strange to me. He blames Invincible, but then, at the end, he ends up killing his wife and child. And then instead of like seeing, when you're this strong, there are like, you need to be careful with your powers, or, like he could have learned something from that. But then instead he just goes, it's Invincible's fault. And it's like, oh, okay. Like, and his wife seemed really unhinged too. Like, I feel like she was the reason he went so far off the deep end. That was weird.
She was egging him on.
Yeah.
I feel like if his wife wasn't egging him on, he wouldn't be this kind of crazy about it.
Yeah. And like, they have a little kid that, I don't know.
Yeah.
I did enjoy seeing Chicago, the incident where Omni-Man and Invincible were fighting from like the ground floor. I love when they do that. You see it from just like a regular person's perspective. That was really cool.
Yeah.
And his powers were interesting. I like the idea of like, if you get hit, you just get stronger. That's kind of cool. But overall, I mean, I didn't really connect with Powerplex as a villain. I didn't think he was that strong or interesting.
Yeah, I can see that. I think for me, I like the way it's filmed, like you said. I like kind of seeing it from the ground level. And I like seeing an everyday man like how it affect, like how that fight affected the kind of the everyday person.
I do.
And for
like
me,
that idea.
I get what you're saying as far as him blaming Invincible, but for me, how I saw it is he just has so much pain he doesn't want to deal with. It's easier to blame, someone than to take responsibility. And like, I don't know, maybe it's me being a parent or something, but like maybe that's why this episode hit more, because like, I mean, he burned his wife and kid. Like that would make anyone go crazy.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So like I maybe it just hit me because like I couldn't imagine doing that to my kids. Like I would die.
Yeah.
But I just liked the concept of just like the everyday man, kind of like he was a good dude. He had his sister and his niece go up in the building, and boom, like that concept of it, and then him kind of going crazy, and like just a normal good dude kind of just go crazy. And I get what you're saying, because it did get a little annoying. It's Invincible, like, dude, take a little responsibility.
Yeah.
But like, I guess I just rationalized that like homeboy just burned his wife and kid. It's probably just easier for him to shut everything away and blame someone else.
Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah.
And I like that there's kind of, as his powers as a villain, I agree with you. He didn't necessarily seem intimidating personally.
Yeah.
But I kind of like the idea of having, because he even shows up in the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like how, like, for me, I feel like he's kind of like, I don't want to say like an arch enemy of Invincible, but I feel like he's going to be
recurring
that enemy. Yeah, that recurring enemy for Invincible, for Mark, that is probably going to be the most painful villain to face every single time.
Yeah.
Because of the circumstances.
I just don't know where they go from here. I feel like there's no room for growth for this guy, like, or change. It seems like he's shown that he can't.
That he's, no matter what, he's going to blame Mark.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying. So like, I could see why. Would you give it a 7 or an 8?
Yeah.
Okay. So like, and I gave it a 9. So like, I could see a middling ground for me being it being an 8.
Sure.
It was a tragic episode. I liked the way it was filmed.
Yeah.
I like the idea behind it.
Also, I think it had the best title card sequence of this season for sure.
Yes.
Shapesmith really was great, and them like having it pop up a bunch of times was funny. That whole scene I liked a lot.
Yeah, so that's exactly. All those reasons are kind of why I gave it a 9. I could see, like I said, I could see a middling ground at 8, like you 7, me a 9, it kind of evening out to an 8. I could see that. But yeah, I definitely thought it was better than episode 5.
Yeah, definitely.
Just in an emotional way, and the way it was filmed.
Yep.
It felt different, and maybe that's why I liked it too, because I like the episodes where it kind of feels a little different.
Yeah,
just seeing it from a different view, like you said.
Yep. Also, it set up the next one. Like, that ending scene got me so pumped for episode 7, seeing all the different marks.
Yeah. Okay, so we could talk about episode, was it 7?
7, yep.
So you gave it a 9. I gave it a 9 too, but I feel like I'm a little more hesitant than you are on this episode. So
tell me why you're hesitant. I agree
with everything you said. I agree with everything you said.
Okay.
As an episode alone, definitely this might be the best episode. This was definitely better than the what do you call them? The Penultimate episodes or whatever. What do you call them?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely better in season 2's episode. Like, so I think it was great. So this is me with just multiverse things in general. My just worry is this. I hope none of this gets undone. Like, I hope they're not going to use like some sort of scapegoat.
I kind of thought about that too. Yeah,
because like Rex dying allegedly, we technically didn't see it, but.
He's dead, dude. He's dead.
yeah, I know. But that's what I mean. Like that. Like, there was so much that happened in this episode, and I loved the idea. My favorite thing of the episode is what Angstrom said. Like, we ruined him, because whenever the people hear the name Invincible, they're gonna be terrified. Like, no matter even if he's alive, right? Like, he ruined the name.
Yeah. Anytime they think of Invincible, they're gonna think about this destruction. Yeah.
Yes, so I love that. I just worry there's gonna be something where Rex comes back and all this is undone through a different thing, or I don't know. Maybe it's me just being skeptical.
I hope not.
Also, I watched it last night and I was a little tired, so maybe I need to rewatch it again. But as interesting as I found it, I still didn't find it like emotionally as interesting as some of the other fights, if that makes sense. Like as far as Mark fighting obviously his dad, or even oh god, what was that other fight? There's another fight I was thinking of. I can't remember.
The one with the lady when she like threatened
that
Amber.
Was a good fight. Yep.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, it was emotional in a sense. I mean, you're watching Rex die. I don't know how to explain it. I wasn't as emotionally invested as I would have been. Like, but I mean, I'm comparing it to the best of the best.
Yeah.
In season 1,
and like
right?
1-on-1 is different than because they're fighting like 18 different marks. Yeah.
But so I guess I'm just hesitant on where it leads. Also, I liked the different marks, but I just, like I said, I wasn't personally, I wasn't emotionally invested as much.
Okay.
But still 9. I mean, I'm still giving it a freaking 9 out of 10.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought.
But I'm curious.
I liked it because.
What are you thinking?
I agree with what you said. Like the repercussions of this episode, if they don't go back on it and change it somehow with some multiverse thing, like the repercussions seem huge. Like every major
show
city's
changing,
destroyed. Show changing.
Yeah.
Like it made it feel like the end of the world, with it going from like day to day and seeing all the destruction. And the one thing that I think holds it back from a 10 for me is there were some things where it like cut to it right after the action finished, and it would have been cool to see some of that, like Cecil and Donald's fight. It just like cut when they were done and the Reanimen were killing the one Mark, and that happened a few times. But they still had a lot of good fights in here, and Mark and Eve, when Eve got injured and then Mark's trying to figure out,
that was brutal.
Yeah, that was rough. And then Mark has to deal with like, do I stay here and protect her? Do I go out and help? Like there's still those moral quandaries that the show loves, doing. So I thought that was good.
I was emotionally invested in that, I will say.
Yeah.
I like that you have to decide, right? Like kind of love your life type girl or like saving the world pretty much.
Yep.
It felt very Spider-Man-y.
It did, yeah. And I thought it kind of evolved Mark and Cecil's relationship a little bit. Like it repaired that a little bit. And obviously Mark's still pissed off at him, but at the end he did say thanks for being there for him to talk if he needs it. And so...
And Cecil kind of asking him to be the leader of the Guardians makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Like he's like, you're the one, you said no to me, like no one else would. Like we can keep each other in check, kind of thing. Like
I like that he's willing to
give
him
it too.
that spot.
I like that too. Yeah. I really liked that line is like, why do you want me to do it? You said no to me. I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And then obviously the Rex, that was so sad.
My boy Rex, dude.
I love Rex.
I will say that I was emotionally invested in that.
Yeah. And man,
that was
the way he went out was so cool.
Yeah.
Like
dude, I love Rex. Is he really dead? But the thing is like
Rex exploded.
Rex exploded. That's funny because you can say it like Rex. Like it sounds like two things.
I'm pretty sure I saw that there was one thing in the comics that they didn't include. I want to say this is real. I'm gonna try and find it. Maybe it's not. Okay. Yeah, because I saw something that said, "What about Rex exploded?" And it says Rex exploded, but I guess in the actual comic it says Rex is dead, like in the show. So
that's funny because you could like Rex exploded, like he exploded, or like, just use it as his name. Rex exploded. Yeah, that was sad.
Yeah, right when he was becoming happy. Of course, after a major like, character shift of him being a good dude and finding someone, they have to kill him off.
Yeah. And then of course, like Immortal obviously lived because you just have to keep his body parts close, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then Kate freaking just always, every time Kate dies, I'm just gonna know like if she's
no, she has an extra one somewhere. Yep. I did think
somewhere hidden in some dungeon or something.
Guardians of the Globe fight was pretty cool because it looked a lot like the fight from season 1 where Omni-Man killed them all. So that had some cool parallels.
Right, yeah, that was. So there was a lot of death this episode.
Yeah, there was. Like Darkwing's dead.
Rex. What's the who are the other people that stayed? I guess the stretchy dude. I guess he's
Shapesmith's alive. Thank goodness. It looked like he was dead for a second.
It did. Yeah, and obviously Immortal, is immortal.
Yep. One thing. Did you watch this with subtitles?
I did.
Did you notice some of the names they gave some of the alternate marks?
Yes, I did. There was like Mohawk, Mark, or I don't know. There's some funny.
So I have 4 written here that I liked. So my favorite, I think, was No Gogglesable, which is the Invincible without goggles.
Yeah.
The Mohawk one, I think, was called Movincahawk, which is pretty funny.
There you go, Movincahawk. Yeah.
And then there was Omnivincible, the one that looked like Omni-Man. And then probably my second favorite is Cape Vincible, the Invincible with a cape.
Yeah, those are fun. I didn't notice that when I watched subtitles because it's something you wouldn't notice if you didn't watch a subtitle.
Yeah, that's really funny.
Because I don't think they said it, did they?
No,
like in the episode,
they did not.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was. I mean, this could have been a season finale.
It kind of felt like it. Yeah.
I had to look. While I was watching it. I had to look. I'm like, is this the final episode? Because there was so much happening.
Yeah.
Also, so what's up with? So Angstrom went back to those
his
robot
surgeon
things, and they pretty much said, if you want us to repair you, you're going to work for us now. I wonder what that's going to be about. Like, what's that going to bring to the table? Probably
not a good idea screwing over the guys you have set up to save your life, but that kind of fits with.
So what's their agenda?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
Like, is that going to affect Mark and our world we're watching? Or
probably.
Do they even care about that?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
but that's interesting because that brings back to the point we were mentioning earlier with Oliver. Yeah, because. Was he still gonna kill Angstrom even with Oliver there?
I think he was, yeah. He tried to.
I think he was too.
Yep, because he knew.
Well, like you could tell he was more hesitant though.
Yeah.
Because when Oliver came there, you could like pause for a minute. He's like, God, this kid's screaming to kill him, and
yep. But Oliver
don't give.
Yeah, he does not care. Crap. I think he knew there was no other way to stop him. And make sure he doesn't come back.
Said you give him no other choice.
Yep.
But I could tell. I feel like there was a second where he felt sad because he didn't his brother was there, having to watch this and him screaming, "Kill him!"
He definitely did.
Yeah. And then of course the villain in the last episode showed up at the end.
Yes, Conquest.
Yep.
Which I think I saw. Is voiced by Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Is it really? I didn't notice that.
Let me just double check, but I saw that. Yeah, it is Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
I don't know. He showed up right at the end. I'm like, geez.
Yeah.
Right now?
He looks so intimidating.
This is not a good time. He does. He had a hammer hand type thing.
Yep. Oh, but man, Mark's remark, is this is not a good time. You showed up right now. All I want to do is hit something as hard as I can. And that's where it ends. I'm like, I want to see that right now.
I know. Please let us see that fight and don't skip.
Yeah.
They can't.
No,
they have to show us.
It's the finale. They have to show us that.
Yeah. And his dad and
Alan.
What's his face? And Alan are going to show up, right?
Yeah, that's kind of what I think. Yep.
They have to. And seeing those 3 fight, I hope we see those 3 fight him.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
I hope so too. That would be a great finale.
That would be so. Yes, God. But the thing is too is it's gonna be interesting because the city's already kind of destroyed. So
yep,
is Mark gonna try to be more careful? Now that he's seen what it does to the everyday people.
Yeah, I don't know if he has a choice. Maybe he'll try and take it somewhere that's not a city or something.
I'm curious if they address that, because like there's just a whole episode dedicated on what it did to the city.
Yeah.
But like you said, maybe you might not have a choice. But
I'm so excited.
Reminds me it's very Superman-y, right?
Yeah,
like they address that in Superman.
It reminded me of Man of Steel. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll say this. This got me pumped for the finale.
Yes.
I didn't even realize it was gonna be the finale already. I'm like, no, I want more.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh, so good. But yeah, this season we're being spoiled. Our few shows we're watching right now, I feel like I'm giving out 9s and 10s more than we ever have.
I know. Seriously, we are spoiled.
I know. Like, geez. Oh, so good.
Yes.
But yeah, that's all I got on Invincible. I can't wait for the finale.
Yep, we'll just have the finale to talk about next week for that. So yep, we'll spend a lot of time talking about it.
Yep. Yeah, that'll be I can't wait.
Awesome. So do that next week. Okay. Next up, let's talk about Daredevil Born Again. So there are 2 episodes out. We watched them both. We'll go ahead and give our scores, and then get into spoilers. We'll give a spoiler warning before we move into spoilers. So Alex, do you want to go ahead and start off with your scores for episodes 1 and 2?
Yeah. Yep. So Daredevil season 1. Well, I guess Born Again season 1.
Yep.
Technically, this is season 4 if you want to connect it together.
Mm.
But episode 1, I absolutely loved. I gave episode 1 a 10 out of 10. So I feel like I'm blowing these 10 out of 10s, man. I loved it. That opening. I mean, there was some, like, the CGI was a little iffy in some parts.
Sure.
But excluding that, I loved everything about episode 1. There's things that happened in the first 10 minutes that, God, it was perfectly done. I personally feel like,
yeah,
as far as intensity and emotionally and stuff. And just the whole episode was just interesting. I thought it was filmed really well. I thought they did interesting filming techniques. I thought the lighting was good. Mm-hmm. I thought the action was great. I thought the acting was great. The setup for the season, there wasn't a thing I disliked, excluding maybe a little spotty CGI here or there.
Sure. That
I didn't like about episode 1. Loved it. 10 out of 10.
Nice.
Episode 2, it was good. I gave it a 7 out of 10. Definitely a drop in quality, but like, I mean, it's hard to it's hard to top the first episode in my opinion.
Yeah.
But 7 out of 10. I still thought it was above average. It just, kind of cooled off a little bit, and settled down. And I'm sure it will go up, but it was kind of more of like a calm down episode.
Mm-hmm.
Still great. The setup is great. Some scenes are still great. Just not to the height of episode 1 for me personally. Okay. So 7 out of 10.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. We're still similar, but we got a few differences. So episode 1, I also agree, was awesome. I loved the start. It was a very strong start to the show. I love what they did to kick it off. Action was great. It set up some things with like character motivations that are really interesting, dealing with some heavy themes and new character dynamics. So I give episode 1 a 9. I agree there was some spotty CGI, but that's kind of the only thing that held it back from a 10 for me.
Yeah.
And then episode 2, I agree it was a little step down, but I still think I think I liked it a little bit more than you. I gave it an 8. There were some things like, I don't know, both of these episodes they had me on the edge of my seat the entire time. I was like glued to the screen. Even like just Matt walking down the street, they somehow make really cool and interesting. I love the camera work and the sounds that they do. They really keep me invested in the show. And so even in this slower episode, I was still enjoying every second of it. So I gave it an 8.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I could totally see that being an 8. Yeah. And
there's something that happens at the end of episode 2 that I thought almost brought it up to episode 1. Like there was a really cool scene that I liked in episode 2. So we'll talk about that in spoilers.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so we're similar.
I think we average out to the same score, basically.
Yeah. I think the thing that surprised me the most was the camera work. It felt very, it almost felt kind of artsy fartsy in a way compared to the original show, from what I remember.
Yeah, I agree.
Which isn't not in a bad way.
Not in a bad way. Yeah.
It was interesting, the camera work they did, and they did some scenes, the interviews and stuff. And
yep.
I thought it was really interesting, and I was surprised by it, but I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too.
But yeah, we can get into spoilers because we can't really talk much.
Yeah. Okay.
Without spoilers.
So, spoiler alert for Daredevil Born Again episodes 1 and 2. I would say that we recommend it. We both give it pretty high scores.
Yeah, go watch it. And if you don't want to watch the original show, just watch like a recap. But I recommend still watching the original show.
Yeah, agreed.
So that opening 10 minutes or whatever it was, my God, dude, like that may be. Now I still think some of the fights were better in like the first season, like that hallway fight in the first season stuff.
So amazing, yes.
But as far as like the sound and the emotion of it and the intensity of it,
yeah,
I think as far as like that, I think this is the best fight we've seen. When you incorporate everything else, I think the hallway fight scene is better,
like technically better.
Yes, this is like technically in the sense of like when he's fighting and he could hear Foggy's heartbeat.
Yes.
And then he's like crying and he's still fighting and he's checking to see if he can still hear Foggy's heartbeat and Karen crying. That. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing.
That detail they added with the sound of him just checking in on Foggy and it like getting like you don't hear it as much when he's like focused on fighting and then when it slows down, you can tell that he's checking in on him again. Oh, that was a really cool detail. I loved that.
And you could see him like, if you look closely, you could start seeing him like crying or getting teary-eyed when he's fighting. And oh my God, and the fight was still great. Like, like just, I loved it. God, and it just, I'm almost speechless. Like just how freaking, like, I didn't expect it.
I know, right out the gate like that. Yeah.
I'm like, Jesus Christ, because Kara watched this episode with me, and she watched some of season 1, like the original show, but not all of it. And I'm like, they literally just killed off like a main character in the first 10 minutes.
They did. And then had like a crazy hallway fight scene in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, all the first 10 minutes. And she liked these episodes too. And she's not like a superhero person.
Yeah.
And I think it's because this has a lot of like the lawyer stuff too, and it's a good balance of like, with Matt, this good side and this devil side,
Yep.
Daredevil's always been interesting in that concept. But this first 10 minutes.
And I love that part when he's on the roof and like when Foggy flatlines and he can't hear the heartbeat anymore. Yes. Just his little he doesn't like get enraged and start beating him up. He just simply is like, I'm done, shoves him off the roof. Like, oh man, that was such a crazy moment too.
Yes, and I loved how. Was it maybe the guy who saw him? Someone asked him why he stopped, and he said he didn't stop. Well, he said, what was the line? I should have written it down, but he said something along the lines of like, he didn't stop because, he stopped because he was scared of what he did in tragedy or something like that. He didn't. What was the line? I wish I would have written down the line. Basically, he said something along the lines of like he stopped doing it because he couldn't handle it. Like he didn't like his response when something bad happened. Like his best friend died and he couldn't control himself.
I see. Yeah.
I don't know the specific line. I should have written it down. I might go back and look at it because I really like the line. He said it better, and I'm explaining it. But even excluding the first 10 minutes, I still thought the rest of the episode was great.
Yeah.
We didn't even see Fisk for like 20 or 5 minutes or something.
Yep. But the idea of Fisk becoming mayor is such a cool setup for this whole season. Like, oh, it's so great. And having Matt just like walking down the street, hearing all the people talking about Kingpin and like so many people like saying good things about him and just having to deal with that. And then his talk with Kingpin at the diner. I don't remember if that was episode 1 or 2, but
I can't remember either.
But man,
but that was a great scene.
That was a great scene. I think it was.
It almost seemed like X is like sitting at a table talking.
Yeah,
like it's good to see you.
And so many undertones of just like what they've been through and how much they know about each other, and it was so good. That had me glued to the screen.
Let me ask you this: Is Fisk actually trying to like control himself, and something's just going to let him loose, or is this just a facade? Does he actually want to change?
That's a good question. I feel like they're still doing some shady stuff with Vanessa's company stuff.
Yes.
So I don't think so, because even Fisk is like, this has to be like squeaky clean, and like, making it seem like even though they're still doing shady stuff, it has to look clean is what I took it as.
Or is he saying it needs to be squeaky clean, so you need to stop this, Vanessa?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't trust.
Because he walked
Fisk
in there
like
and kind
that.
of seemed mad that she was still running those meetings and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know.
But I mean, I don't trust him either. I guess
if he is going clean, there is going to be something that sets him off. Like Vanessa's going to die, and he's going to go crazy. Yeah. So
he's either way, he's going to get set off. I just don't know if he's just hiding, if he's like hiding it and is just always going to be like that, or if he's truly trying and something just set him back in the wrong course.
Yeah, that's a good question.
But I like how they I mean, it's kind of sad that, I mean, I'm sure Karen will show up more, and hopefully in some future episodes.
I think I saw that they're not, like, they killed Foggy off and had Karen move because they shot a bunch of scenes for this before it moved over to Disney or something, and they like used, or like or some, I don't know. Basically, they
I
added
did read
those
there
people
some rewrites and stuff.
In rewrites and stuff. So in season 2, maybe she'll come back. Is what I think is going to happen. Yeah,
because I read that this was originally gonna, because I think they were contemplating whether or not the original show was gonna be canon.
Yeah,
or something like that. And so, but then I think they did rewrites, and I think they wrote in those first 10 minutes with Foggy.
That's crazy.
Like you said. Which was crazy because that's like the best scene so far.
Yeah.
And well, maybe it's not the best fight, but I say it's not the best fight scene, but it was still an awesome freaking fight scene.
Yeah, it was. It was like with all the, like at the end where Daredevil has like 50 knives in him, and like,
and like it's
him
still
kicking all the stuff out of the way of people, like trying to save people.
They're still kind of getting out of breath and like like it still feels real, like raw.
Yeah, and it was all like one shot with the camera zooming back. Yeah, it was good. It was definitely good.
God, it was intense. So when in the show, like when it first started, and they were kind of like Foggy and Karen, they showed them walking down the aisle. Like I was kind of thinking like, are they going to do something bad right here? Because the music was kind of like, the way it was filming, and like the music was kind of like somber. I just didn't know if it was like, I don't know. I was like, I was kind of, from the beginning, something. I could kind of tell it kind of did it feel like that for you? Like there was something looming?
Yeah.
If that's what it felt like for me in the first, before even the craziness.
I agree. Yeah. And then something was going to happen.
And then they had Foggy like step outside to talk, like, oh, what's going to happen? But then they tricked me because they're like, oh, I'm storing him at this house. So, Daredevil Matt, you went to go check that house. So Foggy's going to be fine.
Yep. But nope.
And then nope. Oh, dude.
I love Foggy too. I'm so sad.
I know.
No.
I did too. He was such a good friend. Like he was kind of like the anchor for Matt. Like,
yep. Which
like he was,
that does make it more interesting coming up, like him not having that anchor or that voice of reason, or I feel like he's going to be more unhinged, especially without Foggy there and Karen. Like,
I think so too. Because I watched like recaps of the first few each season, and like Foggy was the anchor. I mean, in season 2 with the Punisher and stuff, he was the one telling Matt like, you need to do this through the law, not through Daredevil. Like he was the anchor.
Yep.
And like now he's gone, and it's like, that's true. That is kind of an interesting thought. Like, how does he? Maybe that's why Matt doesn't want to do it, right? He doesn't have that.
Maybe.
Because without Karen and Foggy, it's like he's kind of alone. I know he
Also,
has his new partner and stuff.
Yeah, but he also kind of lost his faith too. Like, what is going to ground
Mm-hmm.
his morals? That's going to be tough.
Because the faith. You're right. I say Foggy's his anchor, but you could argue faith is even bigger anchor.
Yeah.
Because with his faith is the biggest.
And I think that's why the thing in episode 2 that I think brought it up to an 8 to me is the fight in the apartment at the end, because that one, it also felt really real, but it wasn't one of those long drawn out ones. It was like so efficient and quick. It's like those two guys started attacking him and he just destroyed them. Like I really liked that fight, and then his just raw scream at the end was like.
He even said, like, just don't do this, guys. Like, he knew if he started, he wasn't going to stop. Like, So we're kind of getting like an unhinged Daredevil, pretty much.
Yep, that's what the scream felt like.
He didn't even suit up this episode.
Nope.
Like, so, yeah, this is good stuff, man.
They did show a shot of his blood being left at the scene, so I wonder if that's going to be, if he's going to get in trouble or someone's going to set him up for something, or I don't know. That could be a thing where they find his DNA there and something happens.
Also, something we didn't talk about is it was interesting how they had Bullseye will be the one to kill Foggy. And stuff.
Oh, Bullseye.
He was in season 3.
Yeah,
I believe. I don't know if it's the same actor or not, but
I think it was. Maybe
it was. Well, okay. And we didn't even touch on the fact of how did he live that fall?
Yeah, I think it's because they reinforced his spine, and did they do that in season 3? But yeah, it still seems like a fall he would not live.
No, I mean that was 6-7 stories up or whatever it was.
Yeah,
maybe not that high. 4 stories up. But like, I mean, it looked like he was dead, and then he just like opened his eyes.
Yep,
or moved his eyes or something. I don't even. I think even someone said it. I think it was maybe Fisk who said.
Yeah.
But anyways,
he definitely tried to kill Bullseye.
Yeah, he should be dead. I'll say that. Maybe I'm missing something from season 3.
Yeah.
But Homeboy fell high.
Yeah.
I mean, he should be dead.
Definitely.
But maybe I'm thinking too much into it. And then they talked about that. Who's that other vigilante?
White Tiger.
Yeah. So he was talking about how he didn't have his jewel suit or his jewel. So does that jewel like power him or something?
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. Like that's his pendant or whatever. Yeah, gives him his powers.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, I kind
of like the idea of another.
Yeah, I don't know anything about vigilante? That character.
I don't either.
Like from comics or anything. So that'll be interesting.
I don't either. From the sounds of it, he's a good guy.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
I'm just curious. So that will be kind of interesting because I don't know a single thing about him either. But I liked the character and I liked the idea of. It's interesting, like the cops almost like telling a different story. Like corrupted cops almost.
Yep. Yeah. And that lawyer stuff with that's going to be interesting. I do like the lawyer scenes and stuff in Daredevil too. And those are good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what hooks Kara is the lawyer stuff. And then, I like both too, but it's like a blend between like kind of like a lawyer law show and which it always has been, even the older season.
Yep.
But yeah, I was worried because let's be real, Marvel hasn't had a great track record with shows.
Yeah.
And plus like the original Netflix show was like so gritty and raw and like especially season 1 was almost perfection.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, there's no way it's going to be as good or they're going to screw something up major. I mean, but no, these first 2 episodes, I mean, they didn't shy away from the violence, the cussing, nothing.
I will say that if you have a show with Charlie Cox as Daredevil and Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin, I will watch it. Like those two are so great in those roles. I will absolutely watch it. Yes. Like Charlie Cox is so perfect. As Matt Murdock, he's like, he can be so charismatic
he is the like almost like Hugh Jackman as X-Men or as Wolverine. He is Daredevil, man.
Yeah. He does such a good job.
I can't picture like Ben Affleck as Daredevil anymore.
Yeah.
And even Fisk, like you said, what's his face?
Vincent D'Onofrio
as Fisk. Yeah, yep. Vincent D'Onofrio as Fisk. Kara can't stand his voice. I'm like, that's him. He's like, he sounds like he needs to clear his throat.
That's funny.
I'm like, I mean, kind of. Because he talks like this.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, Kara, that's just Kingpin.
I like it.
I don't know how he's supposed to sound because like comics are reread, but it works. So
it works.
But yeah, she likes it. I was actually surprised she liked it.
Yeah, that's cool.
But no, it was great, and I think I'm so used to the Netflix shows. You know, the old seasons, like it aired all at once.
Yeah, I know.
So we can kind of binge it, and now we gotta wait weekly.
I'm looking up how many episodes there are because I didn't look before this. It looks like 9 episodes. Is that right? Yes.
9?
It shows 9 on Wikipedia. Let me check IMDb just to double check.
Okay. As much as I complain about the weekly format, I like the weekly format. It's easier to dive into each episode and kind of get excited for the next episode.
I agree. Yep, 9 episodes.
9 episodes. Okay. So, and I know the original show was on Netflix, but I knew Disney would release it weekly.
Mm-hmm.
Because they do with everything. Oh, I did read, this is off topic, I did read that Andor is going to be aired in chunks.
Yeah, I saw that. Like 3 at a time or something. Yeah.
Which makes sense because the last season there was like 3 episode arcs.
Yeah, that does make sense.
So it's kind of cool that they're doing like 3, 3, 3, 3.
I feel like we're going to get an Andor like movie every week. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I like that. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But their structure, it makes sense for that. Yep. I don't know if it does for like a normal show.
Yeah. I agree.
But yeah, no, Daredevil was great. Pleasantly surprised. I hope the rest of the season
holds up.
Kind of holds up, yes.
Yep.
Because I don't remember last time I've given 2 10 out of 10s in one video.
I don't think that's happened, yeah.
No, I don't think it has, no. Sounds like I feel like we're usually conservative with our scores, and we're bringing pretty high scores.
I feel like, we've been spoiled.
Yeah. Jeez. We have been, because any of these could have, Invincible season 2 wasn't as great. Severance, maybe the first season would have been an anomaly or something.
Yeah, could have been.
Daredevil being on Disney Plus. All these could have been bombs.
Yeah, true.
And we liked them all.
Yep.
Loved them all. Jeez. But yeah, that's all I have really. Yeah. There's more with Daredevil, but we can delve into, as episodes come.
Yeah, agreed. Cool. All right. Next up, let's talk about how we feel about Splitfiction. So we got that this weekend, and we played 6 hours of it yesterday, wouldn't you say? Something like that?
Just about, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So what did you think of a Splitfiction?
Man, I gotta admit, this is the most fun I've had in a co-op game in years, since I can remember.
Same. It was so much fun.
It was so fun. It looked great. The action was cool. It was hilarious at times.
Yeah, this game is really funny. I feel like the comedy in this game is really good.
It is. It's some of those side story mission things where we obviously were cracking up on. Yep. I'm not going to say anything about any of them because you just got to experience it.
Yeah. We'll be spoiler free.
Yeah, because this is one thing where the fact we don't really know what's going to be the next gimmick / story in a sense.
Yep.
Is kind of fun. It's kind of half the fun, I feel. Kind of waiting to see what's going to be the next, story or this.
Yep, agreed.
Dude, I had so much fun.
Yeah, same.
Seriously, it was so fun.
Yep. And even Tiffany was watching, I had my headphones on, my wife was watching, and she couldn't hear it, but she was laughing at some of the stuff going on, and she enjoyed watching it too. So that was cool.
She did, that's good. She'll have to watch what we do the next session.
Yeah.
Because I think we're about halfway-ish done. From what I've read.
I would assume that. And it's been great so far. I echo everything you've said. I've like the action, the comedy of it is really good. The controls feel perfect. The puzzles,
it's not too complicated.
Not too complicated. I do feel like it's a little more video gamey, or like than like It Takes Two. I feel like It Takes Two, even like a kid could play it, but this might be a little bit harder than that. But it's not.
Yes.
We haven't gotten stuck anywhere. Like,
well, they're
obviously we die here and there, but you know.
And they're pretty generous with like save points.
Yeah, they are.
And
that's true.
You know, and the controls are really simple, but the gameplay can be a little challenging at times, but not challenging in a sense of like, this is hard. More so just it'll take you a few times to kind of see, I got to do this.
Yep, exactly.
Like puzzle, like any puzzle. Yeah.
Yep. But man, the people that make these games know how to do puzzles and know how to make cool puzzles for co-ops where like both people are doing something. You feel like, you know, you're actually contributing. It's not being carried. You have to like work together. It's so good. I love it.
And it's like, you know, we're playing online, but it's still split screen, which I think
like that.
Which is awesome because like there's some things where you're doing like that one scene, I'm not gonna say it, but we were cracking up with the phone or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like you could still kind of see what's going on. So it's better because then you wouldn't have seen any of that, and it wouldn't have been as funny, you know.
Yeah, I really like that, and it doesn't like sometimes with split screen it's like hard to tell what's going on, but the way they do it works so well.
Yeah, it does. And it blends in when it needs to like blend to one big screen.
I love those transitions where you do something and then the screens line up and then the line goes away. That looks so cool.
Mm-hmm. And the game, I know I mentioned it briefly, but the game really does look great.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's a beautiful game, and some of like, especially the sci-fi side of it, there's some like cool, like just cool designs.
Yeah.
Just action. Same with the fantasy side, but the sci-fi, you know, I'm a sucker for like suns and all that.
Yeah, I know which part you're talking about, and it's beautiful. It's it has some really cool ideas.
Yeah, and I think another thing I love about this game is each like story or section, it doesn't linger on too long to where you start to get bored. You know, like it switches it up enough to where it keeps it fresh.
Yeah, agreed. Going back and forth,
and nothing is the same.
Like sci-fi and then fantasy, and even like the way you're playing in the game. Like there's so many different types of games in this game. Like if you played It Takes Two, you kind of know, but like it switches from like, you know, platformer to then you're racing, then you're flying, then you're doing this kind of thing. Puzzles. Yeah, it's just got so many different kind of games in the game. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's making me want to play right now.
I know.
Like, honestly, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I would seriously give this game as of right now a 10 out of 10. I'm not
kind of
joking.
Thinking the same, honestly.
I'm not joking.
With how much fun I had,
Yeah, I mean, you could the one thing you could maybe say is I don't think the characters are as interesting as It Takes Two. Like It Takes Two, you can relate a little bit more. Well, you could at least feel like you can relate more with like a husband and wife trying to fix their marriage. This is like two writers,
two random people.
So I don't.
Yeah,
I don't relate as much to these people.
Yeah,
but I mean, when you're playing the game, it doesn't freaking matter.
Yeah. Like the overall story is interesting, but like I honestly like the stories inside the overall story a lot more, and I think those are done really well. The overall story it's okay, it's fine, and I think part of that is, you know, the two characters not being as interesting as like the husband and wife for sure. But like all the individual stories are so good that I just gotta get caught up in those.
Yeah, and you kind of get caught up in like the cheesy humor and like it was fun. And I haven't played like a 5-6 hour like co-op session in years.
Yeah, I know. Probably since we lived together for me.
Probably. And I'm not talking like online shooter, even including that. Like I'm talking like an actual co-op game, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, not multiplayer playing online. So fun, dude. God, we're definitely going to have to play again soon.
Yep. Maybe
Because we need to beat this game
sometime next weekend or something.
Oh yeah, for sure. Get another good session in.
Yep.
It's gonna be hard during the week now that we're 3 hours apart again.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the time changed today, so like right now it's 2:30.
That's annoying.
I know. It's I like it in the sense of like I get more daylight in the afternoon.
Yeah,
like
that makes sense.
But I hate being 3 hours apart from Arizona because obviously that's everyone I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll definitely have. We're definitely gonna have time.
Yeah,
we're beating this because this is.
I agree.
I highly recommend this, and on top of that, you only need one copy.
Yeah, that's cool
because they have that friend pass.
Yep, that's really
which
cool.
is insane that there's like a developer doing that.
I know. That is.
I'll support the game just for that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The fact that like I could buy this game and go on like Reddit or something and find like someone, hey, you want to play this game with me? Like I don't have anyone to play with. Just get the friend pass and we can play. Boom. You play this for free pretty much.
Yeah, that's so cool. That's such a good idea for these kind of games too. Like it makes it so much easier to find someone to play with.
Because you cannot play this game single player at all. There's not an option at all. You have to, and you can't like search for a player on here. You have to know someone.
Yeah.
Which I like. Double down on that. This should be played with someone else. This should not be played alone.
Yeah, I agree. It would be a totally different game.
Yeah. This is meant to be played co-op. Like,
yeah.
So, but don't let that, I hope that doesn't like scare people away, because if you know anybody, I mean, even your wife or husband or whatever, like this could appeal to anybody. Kind of like It Takes Two, like you said.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It may be a little more advanced than It Takes Two,
but it's like, still not that hard. Like you said,
no, like the controls are simple.
It's very forgiving too. With the
yeah,
if you die, you'll start right from where you left off, basically.
Yeah, if you die like at the boss that's half health, you'll spawn with it half health.
Yep.
And the bosses are really fun too.
Yeah.
Every boss has been great. Like everything, I'm serious. Like there's not one thing I loved everything about this game we played.
Yeah, there was no like frustrating moments. All of it was fun. All of it was cool. I really liked it.
I haven't laughed in a game that long in forever.
I know, seriously.
So fun. God, dude, I've given 3 10 out of 10s today. Am I an actual reviewer, man?
We made it.
Or being too easy on this stuff.
No, I don't know. I think it earned it. This game especially.
Yeah.
Felt playing it yesterday, it felt like a 10 out of 10. It was Yeah.
And I feel like, I mean, watch our old stuff. We rarely give 10 out of 10s, I feel like.
Yeah.
A lot of our, I mean, with 5 being our average, a lot of our stuffs are 5, 6, 7s.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But yeah, it was a freaking good week with games and shows, man.
Yes, it was.
Great week with games and shows.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, 100% recommend it. If you're even on the fence, if you're like, oh, no, freaking buy it. Buy it.
Yep.
If you have an inch of thought about it, just buy it and play it. You will not regret it. Play it with your, husband, wife, aunt, uncle, sibling,
friend,
your kid. Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yep. All right. Well, we still have like half an hour. Do you want to do a Guess the Game?
Yeah, we can do a Guess the Game. Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's play Guess the Game. So we're going to have 6 screenshots. If we get in the right series, but not the right particular game, the color will turn gold and Professor Oak will pop up. And yeah, Alex, do you have any clue what this is?
Secrets of Mana.
That's kind of what I was. That's weird you say that. Yeah, because I was going to say some Secret of Mana. Here we go. Yeah, let's try it. Ooh, no. Okay. Original release, too old for Metacritic. I don't know. Good guess for this one.
Yeah,
I feel like this might be like a point and click or something.
Yeah, that looks like those like two different.
Is this Carmen Sandiego?
Yes, it is.
When in Time is Carmen Sandiego. DOS
Walk
PC and Amiga. Okay, so it definitely still looks like a point and click. I just don't know which one it would be. Nancy Drew. It is a point and click.
Looks kind of like a jungly. This is
their Jurassic Park point and click.
Indiana Jones point and click.
Let's see if maybe it's called point and click. Like maybe it has
probably is.
Point breakpoint. Indiana Jones. And the Infernal Machine. Oh, no way. It is an Indiana Jones game.
Dude, I threw that out my butt.
What the heck?
I literally just thought of that randomly because it looked like a jungle to me.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But there's a lot of Indiana Jones.
Yes.
Like Greatest Adventures, maybe?
Sure. Oh. We're not going to get this right after you got that.
I know. God, it could be any of these, dude.
It doesn't look like Atlantis.
Oh.
Temple of Doom? Young Indiana Jones Chronicles? Emperor's Tomb?
We're not going to get this, man. Just do Emperor's Tomb, maybe.
Oh, it was Atlantis! They're in the desert!
Oh. Man, we got this right, okay? I don't care what the stats say.
Yeah, I agree. That's crazy. You got Indiana Jones. That's crazy.
Oh, man. I don't know, man. Lucky guess, I guess.
Okay, day 690. What do we have here?
I don't recognize this.
No.
It's like some VR game or something.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know. I just don't recognize what's on the right.
Yeah, I can't
what is this?
tell.
I don't know. You could just guess like Cyber.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know if we've had that.
Nope.
I figured it.
Is this like that black stuff? Metro? Or is this
barbed wire?
Yeah, this is barbed wire. Metacritic score 87%. We got we got a pistol there.
Ooh, what's there at the bottom?
It looks like a C button, a white C button, but don't know.
Is that like the
back button on like the 360? Oh,
or
maybe
even
it's
the
D-pad.
like C or the D-pad on like the Switch or something?
Maybe.
God, I don't.
This is Escape from Tarkov or whatever it's called. Yeah, sure. It is the Switch.
This Switch. Wait, is this what's that game I'm thinking of? You know,
I know it.
Well, I think you've heard of it at least. Oh, what's the freaking name of it?
Could this be Xenoblade Chronicles X? No.
I'm thinking of no one really talks about it anymore, but it was a freaking good game. God, what was it called?
What kind of game was it?
It was like where you can, I don't even know how to explain it. I don't remember. It's gonna make me frustrated too. Let me think of the name. Can't. I'm trying to think of it if it's anything else that's not. I mean, it's coming to me. Astral Chain. Have you heard of that one?
Oh yeah, I have heard of that.
I just know it's a Switch exclusive and it looks futuristic.
Yeah, it could be.
I played a little bit and it looked good.
Let's see. Nice.
Yes.
Good job.
Yes.
I did.
That was a good game. I don't know if you ever played it.
I didn't, but
it was good.
I wanted to try it. Yeah, it looks cool. Very nice. Okay. Oh boy. Another old game. Don't recognize it though.
This is Mega Man.
This is Ghouls and Ghosts. No. Was that... Which one am I thinking of on the NES? Was it Ghouls and Ghosts?
I thought so.
Yeah, let's try it.
I think so.
Ooh, okay. You said Mega Man? We could just throw out a Mega Man. Words. Mega Man. Arcade and PC 6. What? PC 6001?
So some sort of racing game? What is that?
This is Racer or something. Speed Racer.
Speed Racer.
Ridge Racer? Yeah, let's try Speed Racer. Top-down arcade. Is this Frogger?
I don't recognize this.
Yeah, Frogger.
Oh,
okay.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
I don't recognize this version of Frogger. Interesting.
I don't either.
It's too old.
We're young, Caleb. We're young.
Sure. Ooh, okay. At least we got it. Okay. This might be Animal Crossing?
Pokemon?
I don't know why, but this is reminding me of Animal Crossing.
Which one?
I don't know. Maybe the first one? Or City Folk? It could be on the... Or New Leaf could be on the DS. It might not be. I don't think it's Pokemon. Let's throw this out and see what the next one is.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
New nice.
Leaf. Yes.
Nice.
Oh, because you can put out your outfits and they're on mannequin things like this.
I've never played New Leaf, so I didn't...
You know what's funny is I haven't either. I've only played New Horizons in the original. But it just looked like Animal Crossing and it looked grainy, so I thought, maybe DS.
The graininess.
Yeah. Oh, it's Majora's Mask.
Oh, that's cool.
I think, right? Or is that just like a goat?
Yeah, that definitely...
Okay.
No, that's definitely Majora's Mask.
Very nice. Ooh, first try. That's crazy.
Dang, dude.
Is that a hobbit? What is on his feet?
Is it?
But is that a wand?
This is Harry Potter.
It could be. I played a lot of those old Harry Potter games. Let's see.
I did too. The Chamber of Secrets is fun.
Yeah, it looks way older than this, doesn't it? Let's do Prisoner of Azkaban.
It does look older than this.
59%.
Oh.
Weird looking llamas.
This.
Ooh, 59% is really low.
Hmm.
I
wonder if this is a PC game.
Yeah, I could see that.
It looks.
Honestly, there was an old Hobbit game that was really bad. I don't think this is it, but. Oh! What? Is it a Lord of the Rings then? Does that count as the same?
I guess so. It's definitely not Lego Hobbit.
Yeah.
What, is it the Fellowship?
So it's
not
Xbox,
Gollum.
Game Boy Advance, PS2, and PC. Aragorn's Quest?
Maybe? That looks like Aragorn.
Oh. Lord of the Rings Volume 1?
Maybe this is Fellowship of the Ring, no?
Maybe. Okay, we'll do Fellowship of the Ring and then try that one. It doesn't work. Fellowship of the Ring. Oh, nice. Interesting. There's the Balrog.
I didn't realize that got a 59 because I played the Two Towers and the Return of the King, and those are a freaking blast.
Yeah, those were awesome. I guess.
But now that I think about it, I don't know if I played the Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah, and that might be why, because it does not look great.
True.
Are those supposed to be ring wraiths? That's weird. Okay. Very interesting. Next up. This is... Looks like...
That looks familiar.
If I were to guess, I would say this is like a GameCube game, maybe.
I was thinking that too. It almost has like the Ocarina of Time, like Master's Quest.
Yeah.
Which is GameCube, but...
Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg. It's not, but... What the heck is this thing? 65%.
What is
sunflowers
that? Like...
and a cow standing up? I don't know why, but something's giving me like Psychonauts, but it doesn't look weird enough to be Psychonauts.
No. Have we had Psychonauts?
I don't know.
We had the second one.
Let's just try Psychonauts and see what the next one is. GameCube, PS2, and PC. I wonder if this is like Harvest Moon.
I don't recognize that.
Or
is Harvest Moon on PC?
Ooh, that's maybe Rune Factory? Is there an old Rune Factory? Fantasy Harvest Moon. Let's try it.
Yeah.
No. It's definitely a game like Harvest Moon. Oh, third person action.
I definitely don't recognize that.
Adventure, though. GameCube, PS2, PC. There's a Night Cycle.
I'm trying to think what came out on PS2 and GameCube.
Yeah. Weird.
God, I can't even think of anything. Maybe I just don't recognize that.
Yeah.
The third and fourth one. I don't recognize what that is. And what's I'm trying to even think of just a guess.
Max. Oh, this is Chicken Run or something.
Well,
Is it, or is it Wallace and Gromit?
It's one of those like movie tie-in games.
The Curse of the Were-Rabbit, maybe? Let's try Wallace and Gromit.
Maybe.
No, it's not.
I know what you're talking about though. I feel like it's one of those tie-in movies I've freaking seen too.
Yeah.
Tie-in movie games. What's the one that had the cow though?
I don't remember. Darn.
God, I can't remember the Cowboy Bebop.
Farm something? I don't know. Let's do Chicken Run. It's not, but let's see what it is. Unless you can think of it.
No, I'll probably think of it after you click this though.
Barnyard. Nope. Would not have gotten that.
Nope, I wouldn't have either.
Okay, well, interesting.
Huh.
Okay, this looks like maybe Pokemon Legends Arceus?
That's the first thing I thought of too.
Maybe? Yeah, let's try it. Oh, darn. Oh, I know what this is. I played this for a bit. I'm curious if you even have heard of this.
I have not.
It's a League of Legends auto battler. I'm pretty sure that's what this is.
Oh.
Let's see. Yes.
Oh, nice.
I did not recognize it from this, but that's the board, so. Yep. It was pretty fun.
I'm not into those types of games, to be honest.
Yeah, they're very specific types of games, and if you're not into them, you wouldn't like this, but
yeah.
I played League for a little bit, and then I tried this, and this was pretty fun. Okay, back on track after Barnyard.
Yeah, there you go. That's good. Barnyard.
Ooh, is this Resident Evil? I don't know why. But this looks like
that kind of looks like
4.
Leon's shoulder, which would be Resident Evil 4. It kind of looks like Leon. It looks like his long hair, but trying to think of a part where, yeah, you could just try Resident Evil 4.
Yeah, I mean, it might not be. It is not.
Okay.
Oh, I feel like I've seen this before.
I feel like I have too. Especially that little white dot.
Yeah.
Go back to that first image. Oh, that. Is this like Final Fantasy or no?
I was kind of thinking the same thing. Let's try Final Fantasy.
Is this Final Fantasy 16?
Oh.
Or 7? I feel like it's 16.
It could be 16 now that you say that. I was thinking the remakes, but...
I was thinking the remakes too, but I feel like 16... I feel like it's 16.
Yeah, let's try it. Oh, I thought that was it. Maybe I haven't played this game.
Is this that what's that? Ooh, what's that what's that first image again? What's that game, that Souls-like game we wanted to try but we've never bought it?
Wukong? Black Myth Wukong?
No, not Wukong.
Lords of the Fallen.
The other one. Lords of the Fallen, maybe?
Yeah, we could try that.
I'm just saying because this is like on new systems.
Yeah, let's try it.
I don't know. Nope.
Action RPG. Huh. April
Action
2024.
Action RPG on these newer systems.
Is this... Like in Assassin's Creed?
I just don't recognize it being Assassin's Creed, but I don't know. Maybe it could be wrong.
Yeah. Let's see what the next one is after.
Well, is there any ones that are on just the newer systems?
I don't know.
It's on PS5 and the Xbox Series.
I mean, Valhalla is.
Is it?
I don't know. Action RPG.
Screw it, just guess it. We'll get the next image.
Blame,
Send, banish.
ascend, banish.
I do not recognize this.
No.
Send or banish.
You bachelor, Mary bachelor.
Came out last year.
Ghost something? Banishers, Ghosts of Eden. Of New Eden. No way. I just typed in Ghost. What the heck? I've never heard of this.
I haven't either.
What? Thank goodness there was a ghost.
I've literally never heard of this.
I cannot believe we got that. That's crazy.
Wow. Oh, interesting.
Weird. It looked so familiar, too.
It did. It really did. Well.
Okay, this is Shenmue.
Yes.
2.
Exactly. We're gonna get the first try.
Oh.
Oh,
this is this
EB.
I feel like that was in Yakuza.
Oh, I can see that.
I have no idea which one it would be.
Yeah.
Yakuza 4.
Weirdly named.
Ooh, no. The Wii only.
Oh, great.
Oh,
Jesus Christ, the Wii only game. The only games I know like exclusive to the Wii is like I don't know, dude. That Zombie U game.
That's definitely not this. Oh yeah, that's also
I don't know.
Was there a Red
only
Dead
Wii game
for it?
Only on the Wii?
Yeah, I don't know. This reminds me of Red Dead Revolver.
Red Dead Revolver. Isn't that like a...
Yeah, that was on... I had that on Xbox.
Yeah. A Wii only game. Jeez, dude. I honestly do not know any Wii only game.
I guess still Yakuza, though. This looks like Old West. So this is Enslaved Odyssey to the West. Action third-person hack and slash quick time events. The heck?
Dude, I don't know.
This isn't a Bayonetta.
I mean, I thought that too, but did the first Bayonetta game come on the Wii? Or the Wii U? But even then, I don't recognize this character.
Yeah.
Jeez, dude.
This...
How many exclusive Wii games were there that weren't like gimmicky games?
EB. I wonder if this is a clue. It had an 84%, which is way higher than I would expect from this kind of game.
Yeah.
Near Replicant. No. 2010.
I'm trying to literally even think of just an exclusive I can think of for the Wii.
No More Heroes. Oh, it is a No More Heroes game.
Oh.
I don't know which one was on the Wii. 2 or 3? This is our last one.
No, I think... I don't think 3 just recently came out.
Okay, then let's go with 2. Here we go.
Could be wrong, but hopefully I'm not. Oh, okay.
Yes. Okay. I guess No More Heroes so many times when it's just like kind of cartoony because I don't know much about this game. Yeah. So I'm glad it worked out.
I didn't realize this was a Wii exclusive.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Huh.
Interesting. It looks, I mean, it does look dated, but the action looks
I know people love these games.
Yeah. Huh. Okay. We got one more. Let's get this get this right. This is Why does this look like Kingdom Hearts but older? Like this is Organization 13. Could it be Kingdom Hearts 2? Oh, it could be a DS Kingdom Hearts.
Do they have a DS Kingdom Hearts?
I think it's 358 and a half days or Chain of Memories. Oh, yeah. They had like Game Boy ones too. Let's see if it's Kingdom Hearts. Oh, it's not.
Too old for.
Is that the Triforce? Like the goddesses?
The first picture I kind of thought of the freaking water that when you're a kid. But
what did you said Zelda CDI that one time? Do we have that?
Yeah, Zelda. Do they have it?
Oh, they don't.
Oh.
Tetris Trackers?
I've never heard of that one.
PS1. What?
That even looks like Zelda.
I know. What the heck?
Is this like a Final Fantasy game?
Not that I know of, but we can see Final Fantasy
1?
No, it's definitely not 1. It would be like something like this, Zodiac Age or a spin-off. Mystic Quest. No.
Nope.
Action platform fantasy. On the PlayStation 1. What?
I feel like if you played this game, we would know instantly what this is.
Yeah.
I don't recognize
Joker or something. $1997. I'm just going to throw out some old.
Yeah.
This is Disgaea. Namco.
Looks interesting.
Oh, I think I've heard of this, but I have no idea what it's called.
Oh. Looks familiar.
It's like, is that a rabbit?
Oh.
I don't know. My Brother Rabbit.
I've
heard of it. Klonoa, Door to Phantom Mill.
I have not heard of it.
I've heard of Klonoa, not that specific one. Okay, one more.
Well, not too bad. You didn't do too bad, no.
Yeah, we got to finish on a win, though.
No.
Shoot.
God. That's supposed to look blurry? Or
Yeah,
is it just...
I don't know.
Hitman, that's not a bad guess.
Hitman 2. 58%. What? Postal.
What's Postal?
It's a game where you go crazy as a postman and shoot everybody. It's very violent. GameCube.
Hitman wasn't a bad guess.
Yeah, Xbox, PS2, PC.
This is Time Splitters. I always meant.
Yeah, I think one time it was right.
First Time Splitter.
Oh, action shooter.
Is there like an original Sniper or something?
We had the original Sniper already.
Did we? Sniper 2.
The Sniper 2. This is Enter the Matrix. I love this game.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure. That's why this is all weird.
I think you're right.
Oh, that was a great game.
Yep.
I loved that game.
That's right.
It was so
Fun.
janky.
It was so cool at the time, though.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
We did pretty good. We missed, 2, I think? We missed that one. And I guess we missed 3. We missed Barnyard, that's right.
Oh, yeah. Barnyard.
Barnyard, and then Klonoa.
And
then the very first one, which we didn't actually fail, Indiana Jones.
Oh,
we
only missed 2.
We missed 2, yep.
Yes.
All right. Well, that was fun. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think that's everything we had today for the podcast, unless there's something else you wanted to bring up real quick.
No, that about covered it all. Games and everything.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us, and we will talk to you next week.
Peace.